Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Office Hours Training. I'm Crystal Gunn, your financial strategist. And part of my job as that strategist, being on the business side or the personal side, is to help you heal and redefine your personal financial relationship. I also try to bring information to you that you may not know or to expand on your knowledge of a thing. It also helps to make you or assist you in having some aha moments, some self-discovery moments, and helping you see what no longer serves you so that you can release all of that and soar. That's what helps with the breakthroughs. That's where the magic starts. It's where the shift happens, even on your either on your personal side or in your overall business. So again, October is Financial Planning Awareness Month, and this month I will continue to go through things that are essential in building your financial plan for you and your family and for the generations that follow. So today I want to talk about a powerful tool that most people overlook, right? And that's the expense audit. So yesterday I talked about budgeting, and go back and watch that episode. But also, as I said yesterday, go back and watch previous episodes that I did this year where I did a deep dive in how to create a financial system of success or efficient and effective budget, right? So today I want to look at that expense audit and think of it as a financial health checkup that gives you clarity on where your money is going. So where you're spending your money, more importantly, where it shouldn't be going, right? And so by auditing your expenses, you can uncover hidden costs, refine your financial system of success, and set yourself up for greater savings and intentionality with your money. Oftentimes I talk to people and with clients, and they'll look at something and say, I had no idea. Like literally, I had a client who there were these costs coming out of her account, and it had been happening for the past 2 months, but it wasn't just one time. It was several times, but it was small amounts. It might be $10 or $12, but it would be $10 or $12 like 3 or 4 times a day, right? And this had happened for 2 months, right? And turns out it was fraud, but I bring that up to just show a lot of times we don't know what's coming out of our account because we're not paying attention every single day. One thing that I always have my clients do, and I talk about in workshops as well, so I'm going to share that with you, is on every debit and or credit card. Like if you haven't gotten to the point in your financial plan where you're using credit cards for everything and then paying the bills in full every single month. So whether you're using a debit card or credit card, set every one of them up so that you get a notification on your phone every time there is a hit on your account. Also, you can go to your bank accounts because some things are not just on your credit card or your debit card. Some stuff is happening automatically, ACH. So you can also go and set up in your bank account notifications to come every time something comes out of your account. It does a couple of things. One, it lets you know what's being spent, right? But it also is a quick way to let you know if something happens that's fraud, because it's not, the systems don't always, banks don't always catch something that could possibly be fraud, right? Out of my business account, I had an account, a charge that was from a restaurant here. Well, the restaurant was here in Detroit, so it never flagged it as fraud. But when I looked and I was like, I've never even heard of this restaurant, let alone been to the restaurant. And then I had to think, well, what happened on this day? Where did I go on this day? Could it have been but then I looked at the amount and I was like, well, I was with me that day, so I wasn't spending $124 anywhere. for a restaurant for just me. So having those notifications come to you where you might be like, well, wow, that's annoying. It's not annoying. It lets you know what's happening with your account. So, what is an expense audit? It is a detailed review of your spending to identify patterns, areas of waste, and opportunities to cut back, right? And you should do an audit because it uncovers unnecessary or hidden costs that may go unnoticed, right? Like I gave the example of my client who had no idea that this stuff was even coming out of her house, out of her account. She knew when she needed to go buy whatever it was and spend whatever she needed to spend out of the account, the money was there. But there were all of these charges that were fraud that did not belong to her. So it uncovers unnecessary or hidden costs that may go unnoticed, and it helps you find subscription services, right? You may not use or forgotten recurring payments. Remember, and I was just having this conversation with my daughter the other day, and she was like, they should, you know how you get an app and it'll give you, I don't know, 7 days free trial or 14-day free trial, and then you go and you do it, but then you forgot that you got to go back in and cancel the free trial if you don't want it to happen. And she was like, they should send you a notice. And I was like, yeah, but why would they do that? You know how much money they make off of the people that forgot? Now you got that charge. Well, now you're going to cancel. But you know how many first charges, how much money they make off the first charge that happens at the end of your free trial? They're not about to tell you, oh, your free trial is ending in 2 days. You know what I mean? So it makes sense. It would be, very ethical to do that, but they're not going to do that. So it helps you find those subscription services or those forgotten recurring payments or, the end of that free trial. The other thing, it will help free up cash flow to use towards savings, investments, or debt repayment. So when you cancel or reduce that expense, you can now reallocate those funds to some other line item allocation on your financial system of success that's more important to you, right? And so someone may say, and I hear this all the time, it's only $9 a month or it's only $14. If you have 4, 5, 6, or 7 of those, it adds up. But here's what's most important. It's, can you pay it? Absolutely. That's not even the issue. Sometimes people can't, right? And need to reallocate those funds somewhere else. But doesn't it make sense if you can't really justify using something that you then reallocate that expense somewhere else? You might reallocate it to savings. It might be an extra $20, $30 that you can put on because you've been trying to pay down some credit card debt. Whatever it is, it's like, again, going back and being intentional with your money. I don't care whether or not you can afford to pay the $9.99 a month for whatever streaming this service is. Are you using the streaming service? Are you using it enough that you can justify paying for it? I've given this example before. I don't watch TV like that. I don't watch a lot of movies. My TV is typically not even on. So when The Harder They Fall came out, if I remember correctly, it came out directly to streaming. So it was on HBO Max. HBO Max was like $15 a month. Can I pay it? Absolutely, easily, right? And so I got it to watch the movie, but I canceled it because you know how many times I watched HBO Max? Once. Like, you know what I mean? So can I pay it? Yeah, but I don't use it. So I'm not just going to keep giving HBO Max $16 a month when I don't use it. If I find something that's coming on HBO Max that I want to see, well, then yeah, I'll pay for it that month, because if I went to the movies, it would be twice that, even if it was just me. So it's about being intentional with where your money is going. You're still gonna, if you cancel it, you're still gonna put those funds somewhere. You're just gonna reallocate them to something that works for you, that's more important to you, some other line item allocation. Again, it could be vacation, it could be more self-care, it could be putting this $20 a month, which will help, on some debt that you're trying to pay off. Don't just pay something because it's only $9 or it's only $4.99 a month or it's only $15.99 a month. Be intentional with where your money is. And so conducting that expense audit is going to show you those things. Even with Apple, like sometimes I just have to call the Apple person and be like, okay, tell me what this one is for, because it just may show up as an Apple payment, right? Payment debt. Well, for what? For what app? For what? And I don't know. So doing that expense audit really helps with that, which leads into how often should you conduct an expense audit? Ideally, audit quarterly or semi-annually. So every quarter or at least twice a year, right? Every quarter or at least twice a year. And so how do you do one, right? So just high level. I mean, you figure it out how you want to figure it out, but gather all of your financial statements. So all of your bank accounts, bank statements, credit card bills, expense bills, receipts for the last 2 to 3 months. And it's 2 to 3 because there could have there could have been, you want to see what's a pattern, you want to see what's happening. There could be something 2 months ago that happened that you don't even know that happened. I remember I had someone do this and they found on a credit card statement a $500 charge, right? So she had, nice limits on her credit cards. There's a $500 charge that wasn't hers. And she was like, had you not said do this? She said, I would have never have done it. I wouldn't have known. Again, that comes with, if you have those notifications on your phone, every time there's a charge, you're going to get notification of that. I'm telling you, it's so helpful. But now she's 2 months behind. So now, well, yeah, the credit card, it was obvious that it wasn't hers when they, when they started the investigation. But the fact that it's now 2 months later, you know what I mean? So things like that that you can help immediately. Hey, I did not make this. This is fraud, right? So collect all of those statements 2 months and then start looking at them. Pull out the budget that you completed, right? Because you should have done the budget. Pull that out. If you didn't, download it now. The link is in the description below. And then you want to look at, I would then, separate it, like, because on the budget it has housing expenses, then it has something else. But highlight the amount on the budget, the bank statement, and the bill where it's hitting so that you know it's all matching. And you want to go through the process and you want to highlight everything, because what you ultimately want to see is all of these things are highlighted. If something is wrong, you're going to know. If something's not highlighted, is it not included in this budget? Should it be? Or is it something that I don't know what it is? So highlighting the things, it's almost like you've checked it off. You know that these things match, right? And so you're reducing, you know that you then have all of the things done, that everything that you need and that you're paying is absolutely on that budget. It also allows you to look at, well, how much am I spending for groceries, so that you can put an accurate number in there for groceries. How much am I spending on self-care? You can put an accurate number in there for that. And so once you've done all of that and all of the things are, done, highlighted, checked off, now you can go back. Not in the same day though, because this can be like, this is a week project, you know what I mean? That you're doing this over a few days. But then you can look at those expenses that you have. Well, first of all, is there anything on here that shouldn't be fraud? So that's what you want to take care of first. Secondly, what's on here that no longer should be on here? So I have this app on my phone that I'm paying for every single month that I absolutely never ever use. Like, I do that almost monthly, app on phone, just looking at subscriptions on my phone and canceling those that I'm not using, because I might get something that I think, oh God, I really like this. And then when I get into it, I'm like, this doesn't do what I needed to do. So you can then cut those things out. So what am I not using? What am I not using? What did I forget to cancel that I should have canceled that's still occurring? What can I not justify paying for every single month? Cancel those things. And before you go on to the next step, reallocate them to something else. So let's just say that total amount per month came up to $75. Where now are you going to reallocate that $75 to? Because it still needs a job. It had a job. You canceled the job that it had. Well, it still needs a job. What's the job that you're gonna assign it now? Are we putting $75 into retirement? Are we putting $75 into travel? Are we doing $50 in retirement, $10 here, $20? How are you reallocating that? And then you update that budget, right? And then you go through this process until it's done. And then, so that's just what you don't need, what you forgot that you were paying for, what you cannot justify using. But after that, you want to go and you want to look at every other bill. Can I decrease this? How can I decrease my gas and lights? What's on, you know, I have the what do you call it? The sports package or whatever on I don't know, streaming. You got the you got the gold package, right? Can you get by with the silver or the bronze? Again, you might not be able to, but here's the other thing. Okay, you are a football fan. You want the gold package during football season. You don't need the gold package during the rest of the season. Do you get, again, being intentional with your money and then taking that money wherever you can reduce a bill. You may not be able to cut that bill totally out. You need it, but now you can reduce it. You reduce something $50, $100, $20. I don't care what it is. Now reassign those dollars a new job. Reallocate them to some other line item on your financial system of success, right? So take the time and do it. I'm telling you, you're going to be glad that you did. And then it's always interesting to just take note and see how much money you could cancel out altogether and then reallocate somewhere else. So do me a favor. Think about all the expenses or bills that you pay and ask yourself these questions. Can you name everyone? Do you even know what you're paying? Do you have them written, or are they in some electronic spreadsheet, or are they on that efficient and effective budget, that financial system of success? And then when is the last time that you did an expense audit? Most people never do it, or they do it when something has wiped out their account and it was evident and clear that it was fraud, right? So an expense audit might seem tedious, and it can be, but it's one of the most effective ways to get a clear picture of your financial health and to make sure that where your money is going is where you want it to go, meaning you're being very intentional with your spending. So by identifying small leaks or big leaks in your spending, you can make meaningful changes that lead to significant savings over time, right? Your financial security is built one decision at a time. So let's make sure that your money is working for you and not against you. If your money is going to some place that you cannot justify because you don't use it enough, or it was by mistake, or it was, oh, it's only $9.99, right? It's working against you. We want to be intentional with our dollars and our money as we do this financial planning, right? So, and here's another part of that. We talk about these generational curses, and we talk about passing down generational wealth, and we talk about all of that stuff. And I say, if what you need to cut out, the bad habits, the bad processes, the bad thoughts, the bad mental that comes around your finances. But if all of that stops with you, then again, those new systems of success has to start with you. So when you're doing this, you're then able to teach this to your children. You got to do it and master it first, but then you can teach it to your children so that they're not just running around and saying, oh my God, what's happening? You get to tell them, you know what, I did this this expense audit, and I found whatever that number is that I was able to do X, Y, Z with. And it might lead them to do it, whether they're the kids that live in the house with you or your grown children that don't. It's still a conversation that you can have, because part of what we need to do, especially in our community, is have those financial conversations. You got to have done it first, and you got to know how to do it in order for you to be able to talk about it. So do yours. I promise you. It's going to make a difference. So, what is my favorite thing for today? Expense audit, right? There is a finance review that I have my clients do. You can take this finance review and do it. It really is an expense audit. You're going to be glad that you did. You're going to have a whole lot of aha moments. I promise you. And so again, what do I want you to do? Pull out your budget. Look at the line item allocation. Oh, this is clearly not the right. Nope. What do I want you to do? We just gonna turn this off. What do I want you to do here? I want you to download a copy of my finance review. The link is in the description. It's going to tell you do it exactly how it states. You got to have some different color markers. Do it exactly how it takes. You're going to have some aha moments, right? You're going to have some aha moments. Complete it, and then finish the expense audit and the finance review. So then go back and look at your budget, and then go back and finish your budget, do the finance review, and then go back and look at just the audit on where you can change, delete, reallocate funds so that your money is working for you intentionally and not working against you. This is a process, right? It's a process. When we talk about financial planning, you have to remember financial planning is a process. You can't create and make this plan in one setting. And when you think about everything from going to the grocery store and you make a list, that's your plan, right? To having a wedding, you know, you're now getting married. And so you're planning for that. Everything has a plan. Specifically in our community, far too often, we don't have a plan. And you need a plan, one as simple as that grocery list, so that you don't spend or overspend or just wind up buying stuff because you're going to the grocery store hungry. You know what I mean? Everything has a plan. That plan allows you to be intentional. You have to have a plan for your money as well, right? So if this information has been helpful, please subscribe to my channel. Turn notifications on so that you don't miss a training, but also share this information with somebody else. It's good information. You never know what somebody is looking for, need, or have been praying for last night. So be a blessing to someone else. Share this information. And always, always, always give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace. Forgive yourself for what happened in the past, what you didn't know, what you didn't do, how you messed up, all of that. Give yourself some grace on all of that. Now, what you cannot do is keep giving yourself some grace if you're not doing the things. You saw this today. You can't keep giving yourself some grace if you don't do the finance, the expense audit. You can't keep giving yourself grace if you don't create a financial system of success, that efficient and effective budget, because now you know, right? So give yourself some grace, but then do the things that you need to do. Keep striving. Do the stuff that you need to do in order to get to your next financial level that you want to get to, and never, ever, ever give up on you. Invest in you. I promise you, it's the best investment that you will ever make, and you absolutely, positively will not regret it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am Crystal L. Gunn, your financial strategist. I appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. Be sure to join me for the private online Q&A immediately following. The link is in the description. And if you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn notifications on so you never miss this opportunity. Thank you again, and I will see you on the other side.